Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Now, something that makes me very happy, the UN is finally adopting its first resolution on tackling sexual abuse by UN troops. For those who don't know, the UN has been plagued by some very serious sexual allegations over its history since it's been enacted. And now they're saying that they want to crack down on these peacekeepers who are doing these dirty deeds. With the exception of Egypt, they have opted out of this particular resolution because they say it is treating pretty much all the peacekeepers as, potential suspects. And okay, I can understand that to an extent, but they do have a very widespread problem at the UN. And as I always say about the UN, outside of their sexual abuse allegations and outside their anti-gun agenda, I think they do a lot of good stuff. I'm not a fan of the forced vaccinations because I think it was the World Health Organization under the UN that gave out a bunch of forced vaccinations in Syria. The kids died and everybody's like, oh, we don't know how it happened. Other than stuff like that, the UN does a good job, but they definitely need to clean up their own house before they try to clean up other people's. And speaking of cleaning up house, a man entered a house thinking that he was going to hold a family hostage and ended up on the business end of a firearm.
A family, including a young child, were taken hostage by the man believed to be Raphael McLeod. They were tied up, but were able to get away and shoot that man again, who is believed to be Raphael McLeod. And the investigation is ongoing, but the police chief says he's just glad that McLeod is off the streets.
We have exhausted a lot of man hours for this community to find this escapee because we wanted to make sure that no one else was.
And that's why I'm always a champion of the Second Amendment, because as good as the intentions may be by the police, they cannot be there to defend you all the time. That's why you need to have the means, or at least the option, to protect yourself. You don't want to own a firearm, you're scared of them, you're afraid your kids are going to get a hold of them, whatever. That's your business. Just like we saw the issue of the young lady who got shot, I believe it was this week, by a 4-year-old. She had a firearm in her car. The kid picked it up and shot her. Owning a firearm does not absolve you of personal responsibility. If you have young children, don't keep your guns around the young children. I don't recommend letting your kids shoot Uzis and all that stuff. You can do what you want. It's the United States of America. I personally wouldn't do it. You still have to be a responsible parent. Teach your kids firearm safety. If they're too young to handle guns, just teach them, don't touch the gun. Stay away from the gun. That's for adults. If they see a gun, tell it to an adult figure. And finally, we're going to talk about President Barack Obama, because he is in the city of Austin, Texas right now as I speak, doing this show for you. He is in the city at South by Southwest talking about technology and all the things that are so great about that. But before we talk about that, let's look at this. Barack Obama says David Cameron allowed Libya to become a, quote, blank show. And you can see the words right there on the screen. Basically, he's saying that the U.S. did its part in Libya, but afterwards, David Cameron and all his band of merry men didn't pick up the pieces. And I don't think that's exactly fair criticism. You can't just go into a country, tear it up with war, and then tell somebody else to clean it up. That's like if I came to your house, tore it up, and told you to clean it up. You'd be like, get the hell out of my house. So that's my view on that. So here's a look at what happened when Barack Obama came to the city of Austin, Texas today.
Leanne McAdoo with Infowars.com. I'm here covering South by Southwest 2016 and the complete 180 the festival seems to have taken. Last year, Edward Snowden was the keynote speaker. He was here pleading with tech developers, saying, you've got to protect people's privacy. Encryption is so important. But now, this year, the king himself has rolled into town. He is courting the tech industry. President Barack Obama is saying, I am with the government and we need your help. So what do you think about President Obama being the keynote speaker here at South by Southwest? Is it a fit?
Absolutely. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than that. Yeah. So there's a lot of people who love him and don't agree with him, but I mean, it's an honor to have him at South by.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about the fact that the tech industry right now is like on the precipice? They're trying to stand up for our rights and our privacy, and the government is like, you guys, we need you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't agree with it. I don't support it really,
it's
but
like you're making, yeah, it's like you're putting everything under state control.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely problematic. I mean, I think it's just the festival's showing two sides of each of a coin. maybe, and it's one of those kind of scenarios where you have, you know, the one side and the other side, and they're both kind of trying to fight their. I don't like the government going all the way into the tech industry. I mean, it's uncomfortable to think that they're trying to, the whole iPhone thing and trying to get like the backdoor information and stuff like that. So it's something to be like to look out for. But I think him coming to try to force it isn't going to make the companies that know what they're doing do anything differently.
Well, I think having Snowden last year was great to get that perspective and learn, because he was on the other side and he knows about a lot of stuff that, you know, general citizens should know about. And Obama reaching out to the tech community and wanting for private sector and for Silicon and all the amazing startups to help the government in these issues, I think it's the right way to go, to try to build that bridge between private sector and the government. And from there you could advance into more technologies to make us safe instead of the back doors of what Edward Snowden was talking about.
I think that is an interesting juxtaposition, but I think that Edward Snowden represented something too, that not only is the tech industry something that we're excited about growing, but we also have rights that we need to protect as well. And I think that there is kind of good points to both sides, you know.
Does it concern you at all that the government is kind of starting to get into South by Southwest? I mean, we've got people here from DARPA and things like that saying, you know, we need your help, guys, work with us. Does that concern you at all?
I wouldn't say that it concerns me. I think that you have to come to an agreement at some point, that the government and technology is going to have to come together to work through some of these issues. So I think it's important for them to kind of come together and, you know, do good stuff.
What do you think about choosing today to come to town when they got to shut down the highway for a few hours? People the mayor told people to work from home. Businesses have to shut down between 3 and 6. You can't go out on your balcony.
So you got people who need to work, won't be able to get to work, and then you got people who want to be here for South by Southwest, won't be able to get to South by Southwest until late. So, you know, for the local people, it's not great, but for anyone who's, you know, following the political campaign and following Obama as well, you know, it's good for the city.
For me, coming from a country like Finland, I mean, our president goes skating with kids at the local skating rink with one guy. One security guy, and no big deal. So, you know, big country, big problems.
Yeah. And the presidential motorcade is making its way down here right now. As you can see, all of the traffic is blocked off as the king makes his way to lecture the technocrats. And as you can see, the presidential motorcade just made its way here through Austin. They cleared the way, make way for the king as he is off to lecture the technocrats on supporting the government and their technocratic takeover.
Fellow Info Warriors, I am very excited to be able to announce to you the introduction at InfoWarsLife.com of a new way to save time and money when you stock up on InfoWars Life formulations like Survival Shield X2 and Super Male Vitality. Just go to InfoWarsLife.com today, select your favorite product, click on Auto Ship before adding to cart, and choose how often you want us to send you another order. Every time you choose Auto Ship at InfoWarsLife.com, you get 10% off, and you won't have to worry about running out and having to reorder next time. And of course, you can cancel with one click anytime. As you know, I'm all about the idea of a 360 win, and the new auto ship feature at InfoWarsLife.com is a sure win for everybody. A win for liberty, a win for health, and a win when it comes to big savings. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today and save 10% on your next InfoWars Life order by selecting auto ship at checkout. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.